morning, everyone. Oh, it is July 10th. I have made it. I know. We have made it through June and the first beginning of July, which was crazy busy for all of us. But you guys listening to Author Talk with me, and Sandy's on today, and Russ on. We're going to talk about things that are trending within the writing author community, things that just have happened, different things to kind of look out for. But I want to dive into our weekend. So my oldest turned 4 this weekend. And before Russell gets on to me, let me share some photos before I get yelled at. Okay. So my daughter she's in the yellow dress. She wanted a Beauty and the Beast tea party. So Whimsy and Wild Emporium hosted her tea party. And it was gorgeous. Look at everything how it had set up. The tea was apple juice. It wasn't tea because I went to down some, and it was apple juice, which is not my favorite. But she had so much fun with her tea party. Josh's family came. My family came. Her friends from school came. That's a video of her. And she just was belle for the day and just had so much fun.
So where did she get that idea from that she wanted a tea party? I think that is gorgeous.
She loves Fancy Nancy. Fancy Nancy had tea parties, but she didn't want a Fancy Nancy tea party because she's kind of over Fancy Nancy. So she loves Beauty and the Beast, and she likes the big yellow ball gown. And so that's what she wanted to wear. So when we went to Target, which if anyone knows me outside of Author Talk, that's my happening store here in Bryan College Station. And she got down, she picked out her dress, and she was like, Mom, I got to accessorize. So she got jewelry and shoes, and she was in hog heaven because I let her pick it out.
Poor Josh. Poor Josh.
Yes, he's got a lifetime of this.
Can you imagine what she'll be like at 16?
I know. Oh my gosh.
So 4 years old. Oh, but that is so, oh my God. I love that idea. The whole tea party and the way she was dressed. Oh gosh.
She loved it. She was so happy.
It gives me chills just to see how beautiful and all that. I mean, I remember when she was born, and
it should give Josh chills too.
Josh had so much fun, but it was just a great experience all around. They had activities for the kids to do, and then they had story time, and it was the cutest thing. So it's a bookstore, it's a children's bookstore that the owner reads all the books before she hosts them, and she loves indie authors. And so when you have a party there, she has a book that she's pulled off the shelves, and that's your guest book for everyone to sign. You get to take it home. And so Meadow's really big into like Pinkalicious, Purplelicious, and so they gave her Goldalicious. And so that was their guest book for everyone to sign. And then they read that book during story time, and she got to take the book home with her. And I just thought that was the cutest thing. And it's a beautiful little children's bookstore. I mean, they have like toys and musical instruments on the wall, but they have, Russell, I thought you would love this. So in Narnia, they go through the coat closet and it takes from Narnia. So they have doors like that to the storytime room. So you go through the coat closet to get to that room. And I was like, that is awesome.
Is so cool. And actually, everything you describe about this little bookstore is very cool.
It is. And gosh, how did you even hear about this bookstore?
They were doing mermaid story time. Sky loves mermaids. So we went. She was reading a mermaid book. She was dressed up as a mermaid. And when I Googled looking for tea parties in my area, because I like to enjoy the party and not host the party because you don't get to enjoy it.
Plus, you don't have to clean up afterwards.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, right? So I saw that they did tea parties, and they usually do like an Alice in Wonderland. I was like, well, could we do Beauty and the Beast? Because that's what she wanted. And they were so excited. They were so nice. But she was so happy. So she knew it was her birthday when she woke up. She was like, it's tea party time. She was
that is amazing. Excited. I love that. I know.
So it made my weekend because she was so happy. And her birthday gift comes today. So it's a combined birthday gift because Sky's is next month. And so they got like a little dune buggy that like, I don't know. It does 4-wheel drive. It has rubber tires. So like if we go hiking and stuff, they can go off-roading and all of this. So their gift comes today. So I'm excited about it. I got to charge it and put it together and stuff. But she was just so happy. A ton of bath bombs because she loves bath bombs. We had a tattoo party. If you can see, it's all up my arms and stuff. But it was just so much fun, right? To have a birthday party through like the eyes of a child was just so much fun for me. So it was a fabulous, fabulous weekend. So what all did everybody else do this weekend? Sandy, you said you were super busy this weekend. What did you do?
It was yesterday. One of my oldest friends in the world, and not old in age, but because she's younger than I am, but longest friends. And she and her husband were best friends to my kid's father and I for years and years. He was a pastor. Both of them were, and we went to conferences together. So we've been friends since we had kids, didn't have kids even. And so she lives in Houston, and she had us all over to her house to see. They had just had a new pool put in the backyard and an outdoor kitchen and all kind of wonderful things. And so we spent the afternoon and evening, had dinner. Her husband cooked. Her husband now is not the best friend. They're the one that was our best friend died of cancer about 10 years ago. So, but her new husband and my new husband, we had a great time. And my kids went and my grandkids went. And she just had all of us over to celebrate. And it was just, just, I don't see her that often, but just getting caught up and spending time with her. And it was really, really a fun weekend. We had looked forward to it for a while, and now it was just a great, great day. And I enjoyed it immensely. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
You caught up on old times. I love it. Russell, what did you do?
So we spent most of the weekend playing squash and pickleball. My wife decided she wanted to start playing pickleball, which is basically
that's fun.
Yeah, it's like tennis for old people.
It is tennis on a real small court and everything. I know it is.
So we'd spent and then a massive army of sugar ants invaded me from this forest behind me, and they were everywhere. And last night, my wife found them in the sugar bowl, and she freaked out. And so it was a mess. And so we've had the bug people here all morning, spraying everything. I even had the dog spray. Put new medicine in it's been a mess. So, and it'll be chaos for a couple of days till all the ants die. So, our house isn't that clean right now.
Well, neither is mine after a birthday party.
There's nothing worse.
No.
I was a good father, but I hated kids' birthdays, even my own. I just hate it.
That's why I host them outside of my house, and then my family and
that's a great idea. Great idea.
We came back for burgers and hot dogs, but Meadow got chalk and chalk crayons, right? And so that's all over my house, and purses and wallets and all of these things, right, that are just all over my house. Yeah, because yesterday and last Monday, you guys, everybody knows I had a really bad migraine. I'd had it for a long time with allergies and stuff. So that has finally gone away, and I still have allergies and stuff. But yesterday was like its final day, and I had to take my migraine medicine. So I slept most of the day. Okay. I was like a drunken person that was unconscious most of the day. So that's why my house is dirty. It'll be clean.
Well, I just remember that on Saturday I went. Russell, you'll love this. I went to the Houston Farmers Market, and
Which one?
The big one on the airline.
Okay, I love that one.
Oh my gosh! Now I could have spent all my money in the first 2 or 3 places, but we didn't. And I took Miranda with me, and we were looking for, fresh vegetables and fruits. And the first time I went there, which was a few months ago, I spent all my money on herbs and spices because everybody had so many of them. But this time I'm like, no, we're going to buy fruit and vegetables this time. And we did, and it was so good. And I've been eating fresh vegetables and fresh fruit since then. So I wanted to make sure, because Amy, Rita and I just went to the farmers market in Hempstead a couple of weeks ago.
Rita's a former publisher.
Yes, and a friend. And so we went. It was actually on Amy's birthday. We went had lunch with Amy, and then we went to the farmers market, the big one there at Hempstead.
Nice.
So yeah, so I'm really into fresh fruit and vegetables this year.
So before we get started on our subjects, and I'm kind of glad that it's the three of us. You know, we like to do that every now and then because it's really how we catch up because we're all such good friends.
It's how we started.
Yeah, and it's especially good with Sandy because Sandy talks a lot, so it's easy to fill our 45 minutes. But I want to thank our podcast listeners. We very much appreciate it. You've made us top 10 of independent book podcasts in America, and we thank you for listening to us. Amy, where can people find us?
Yeah, so you guys can find us anywhere that you can listen to a podcast. So Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Good Pods, anywhere that you can look up podcasts, you can find us. Just make sure you type in Author Talk and look for the crimson, red, and gold of our new branding, and all of our episodes will be there. We do go live on our Facebook group and our LinkedIn's and our YouTube channel. So if you want to watch us and see how animated we are, we control what comes out of our mouth, but not our facial expressions by any means. Go on over to our Facebook group or our YouTube channel, or you can follow any of us on social media, and you will catch us there every Monday live at 10 a.m. Central Time. And we upload to other podcasting channels right after that. So you can always do that. But Russell, I want to dive into this TikTok video of this author up in Dallas or Fort Worth. I can't remember which one that went viral. And now his book is number 1. I haven't watched the video, but I know that you shared the video. So tell me a little bit about it, because I think that's amazing, especially being so close to where we all are.
Okay, people can find it. If they want to watch it themselves, they can find it on the Facebook authors page of ours. It's posted near the top. I posted it this weekend. It was this, the whole, it's a video of a newscast that they did. This man, I think his name's, let me see, what is his name? I saved it right here. His name is Sean Warner.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote a little book about a young girl and some ghosts with multiple personalities trying to solve the murder of her parents. And he was at a Kroger trying to sell them last weekend, probably, or maybe the weekend before that. And he was very depressed because no one was buying his books. And, you know, Fern and I are always arguing about in person book sales like that and whether they're good or not. Fern thinks they're good because you get out there, you're meeting possible readers, you're selling a few books. I've always thought, well, it's not very good algorithmically because I'm all into algorithms and how they affect everything. And but he was sitting there, and a nice man came along that does a lot of TikToks and talked to him a second and said he looked kind of depressed because no one was buying his books. So he did a video of him and put it on his TikTok page. And this is not a guy that does a lot of author TikToks. This is not a guy that does very famous TikToks. It's just a schmo that does TikToks like any of us. And he posted it, and then he went about his business. And then the next day when he got up, all of a sudden there were 16,000 hits.
Yeah.
And people started seeing the TikToks, going on Amazon, buying Sean's books, and he's the number 1 bookseller on Amazon right now. And then the local newscast did an article on it. So it's pretty impressive. And I know because when Mickey was on, we've talked about TikToks. You and I on several shows have talked about TikToks, whether they're good, whether they're bad. And so based upon that, I want to talk about it again.
You want to open the fire again? Is that what you're saying? We're going to poke
Well,
the
let me
fire
tell
again?
you. So, also, one of the things I noticed, Russell, in the article is that the guy was at a Kroger store and he was going next to another Kroger store. So, Kroger is one of the programs that we help put in place in Houston and Dallas. And so it is a Texas kind of thing to do Kroger stores. And I think that is just absolutely so. For all, I've been to the Kroger stores with authors before, and they didn't get this kind of visibility just from being in Kroger. But having this guy, and it was like the what I read in the article was a heartwarming story, that here's this guy, as you said, Russell, sitting there not selling books, and this guy comes in with and does a TikTok on it, and then posts it on Book Talk, which I have barely heard of that, but I have heard of it. And then by the next morning, like you said, he had all those, and then it went on to it's now had over 15 million views.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was like
15 million?
15
over
million
15
views.
million?
It said that after just 2 days, the video garnered over 15 million views.
That's different than 16,000, which I thought was a big number.
I know, but it started with that and then went on. So, so Russell, thanks to you for seeing this article, because I had not seen it, and I think that's wonderful that you saw that and that we can point it out. So hey, if authors are watching and you're in Texas and you're part of the Kroger thing, hey, get somebody to take a video on and put it on TikTok when you're doing the Kroger thing, and this is wonderful.
Well, I think it just goes to feed. There's so many different things, right? Like video, right?
Yeah.
And authors are very, what is it, introvert. So doing videos and stuff they don't always want to do, right? So I think doing videos and being on them, but just kindness, like the guy, saw that he looked defeated and just wanted to help him out however he could. So he posted it on his, when he doesn't do a lot of author videos and stuff on his, which I think is a good thing too. But just getting out there, but seeing the reality of being an author. You have your ups, you have your downs, and some in-person events you go to aren't going to always turn out the way that you had hoped, but it's the determination of, the author getting out there and still doing it. So I think there's several aspects that go into it. My favorite one is the kindness aspect, just to go back and do that, I think was
He
amazing.
actually went back and bought a second book, even,
right?
because I think it's so cool. Yes, so that is a great, great story, a very heartwarming story.
Which brings us to the question that Amy always said no to. If you're not on TikTok and you don't do it all the time, Amy was like, don't do it because it's not going to be productive.
Yeah.
So,
but he didn't do it. The guy that does TikTok videos all the time made the video.
So does that mean, especially the way Facebook is just, you can't really get organically through in Facebook anymore. It's dead.
It's hard. Yeah.
So
they just created Threads. Okay. If you want to compete with Twitter, go on over to Threads.
So what's
it's the same
Threads?
thing?
It's a new thing from Facebook to compete with Twitter.
Yeah, it's like an Instagram version of Twitter. I don't know. No one knows a whole lot about it. People are playing around with it. They don't know a whole lot about it, but
it's getting lots of visibility because now you have the battle between the Facebook creator and
Twitter.
And what's his name?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, yes.
Yeah. But it's one of those that Book Talk, right, and TikTok are still very popular. But I will say this, go on YouTube to do your research about influencers and Book Talk and all of that, because I said this from the beginning and I'm going to stand by it. The influencer market, right, is a fad that is going to die down. It's on its downward spiral. So with that being said, to me, Book Talk is similar. So you may have success over there with 1 or 2 videos, which will help with sales. And I'm a huge advocate for it. So do that if you're going to sell your book. But I will say influencers and stuff like that are on the decline. I've said that, and I said it was going to be 5 to 7 years, and we're coming up on 5 years. So I'm just going to hold true to that because I do believe that. If you go over to YouTube, you will see all of the stories and things like that. So make sure that you do your research before you dive into any of these platforms and that kind of marketing avenue. Not that I'm against it, just do your research before you jump into it.
So that brings me to the question, and this is a question not just for me, but for the authors listening, is so does that mean when my next book comes out, whether I have a publisher or whether I'm independently publishing, because we all know that uh, uh, whether you have a publisher or not, you have to do the promotion for your own book. Your
You have
publisher,
to, no matter what. Because even if you get one of the big 5 or big 4 publishers, right, to publish your book, they're only going to market it, maybe if you're lucky, for 3 months, and then you're on your own, right? And 3 months is really good. They have to really like your book for them to promote it for 3 months, because then you're kind of on your own. So you're going to have to learn to market your book at some point. It doesn't matter how you're published. You're going to have to do legwork at some point in the game. So you should learn how to do that and be ahead of the game and be versatile. You don't have to be on all of the platforms all the time 100% because you can't do it 100% effectively on every platform. So pick the one you're the most comfortable with and work that one and maintain some of the others, but you can't do all of them 100% perfectly. And if you don't want to do videos, TikTok is not for you. If you don't want to be constantly making new videos and editing videos and doing all of that, it's not for you. I'm going to be completely honest. It takes time.
I don't think I can.
I mean, it just takes
tech
time.
smart enough to do that stuff.
No, you're smart enough to do that. You need like a video editing software, but if you have an Apple at iMovie, you can use iMovie. But it's just creating new content every day. You can't repurpose. You can repurpose what you create for TikTok onto like Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, all of those, right? But you have to create new content every day. So if you're not willing to put in that time to do that and edit your videos, then it's not worth it, right?
Well,
like that's my opinion.
Okay, so I have this question then. So would it be nonsense when my book comes out? And this is a question for all the authors listening. Would it be nonsense to do 3 or 4 and put them on Book Talk when you really don't do any other ones and you don't want to do it every day? You just want to do 3 or 4? Is that a waste of time?
Create like a So when I schedule posts and stuff out for clients, I take 1 or 2 days to schedule for the whole month. So if you take 1 or 2 days and create a bunch of different videos in those days, and you can post them throughout the month, right? You don't have to sit down every day and do it if you don't want to, but you can take a couple hours out of one day and create all those to post it and do all those things. I think it would be worthwhile to build relationships with someone that's on Book Talk, not necessarily an influencer, but that is already on it, that can kind of host you. Because I'm pretty sure on TikTok, I mean, I'm not super familiar with it, but I think you can do lives once you hit like a certain following count and interactions and those kind of things. So you would want to team up with someone that would reshare your video and kind of work that algorithm with you. Is more to make it more worth your while, so you don't have to continuously do it. But it just, you get what you put into it. So if you put a lot of time and effort into it, you will reap the benefits. If you don't, it will spit you out much quicker than any other social media platform. So if you go out there and you think about it, right? Social media, like Facebook's like a slow burn, right? And then YouTube definitely is a slow burn, but it will ride with you, right? Those people are loyal, and you get, trophies once you hit 1 million followers and all this kind of thing. Twitter is just like instant, just like, okay, instant, whatever. TikTok is one, it will chew you up and spit out faster than you signed up for it. So you definitely have to, if you're going to jump into the market, you got to jump in ready to run. That's just how TikTok goes. It has the attention span of my 3-year-old.
So you're saying it would be better to get influencers. Well, how do you do that?
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not an advocate for influencers. One, don't ever pay someone else with a bigger following to market your stuff. I'm not a believer in that. I think influencers are on the decline. That's what I said. You can team up with other people on TikTok, like Mom Birella's on TikTok, and I know that she does audiobooks. So you can collaborate together and be like, hey, I'm going to post this video. Can you share it? So then it's circulating, those kind of things, or do like a live together. Like she said, once you hit 1,000 followers, you can do that. Do those kinds of things. But I am not for influencer marketing. So that
So
is
Mombi is
very strong on that.
Mombi is a regular commenter and watcher and listener of our show. And you
Yeah,
say she
Mommy
does
really goes to
audios?
Comic-Cons and stuff. She just recently got into doing audiobooks. She has a podcast of her own and a YouTube channel of her own when she goes to different Comic-Cons and stuff like that. I met her through Greg, but yeah, she just recently started getting into audiobooks and those kinds of things.
What does she do? TikTok?
She does. She says she's still growing hers, but hopefully she'll be lucky enough to grow it before the decline.
Well, we need to get Mombi on the show.
Okay.
We I know that's terrible to say. We need to get Mombi on the show to talk about how do you get on TikTok and how do you build your followers? What is she doing there? I think that that's something that we, based upon this conversation and this article, I think we ought to explore that for our listeners.
Yeah, sounds like it. Definitely
Mommy,
sounds
send me
like
a
it.
DM of your availability, which I know she'll do. So, no, I mean,
And
that's
I'm
just
curious whether if she's in TikTok, I'm curious whether she saw this video and knew about this guy, same as Russell. Is she?
I don't know. I don't know, because she said it's nice to hear it from like the author's perspective. Mommy, it's on our page if you scroll down. Yeah, but I mean, I get asked all the time about TikTok, right? And it's really weird that I don't do any social media marketing for TikTok. I know, I go against the norm. I know, Russell. I know. So, but I don't, and I don't play in influencer marketing either. I'm not a huge advocate for those pricing just for someone's following. I feel like you can build it your own. So, and collaborate. I'd rather collaborate with a bunch of little, or a bunch of indie authors collaborating together and building something bigger like that helps all indie or small press authors than paying for one person's following that may or may not do anything for you. I don't believe in that.
Oh, well, so you would have to pay the influencers. Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay,
yeah.
got it.
And you're not talking like $500. You're talking thousands of dollars.
Well, and then I have a question about your answer, which is collaborating. Well, how do you do that? How do you put together a group of people that want to do TikTok collaboration?
Russell, oh my gosh. You're not going to like my answer. It's in-person events. In-person events, you meet all kinds of people. In-person events. But even then, even if you just did virtual events or book signings, like this guy was at a Kroger, right? So if you're part of the Kroger program, there's a lot of other authors that are a part of that you guys can collaborate together and just be like, hey, we can do email swaps, or we can do like videos on each other's platforms talking about our books, what latest things we have coming out, what events we're going to be at, those kind of things. Those in terms of collaboration is what I would do, because then you're helping another indie or small press author, right? And you're getting access to their network and they're getting access to yours, and you're building something bigger together for all indie authors or small press authors, not just capitalizing on one person's following. And here's my deal with that whole thing. If you work in the industry, then you understand you can purchase following. If you run a worldwide ad, or you can purchase followers to hit a certain part of the algorithm to get your videos more traction and things like that. So if you work in the industry, you understand that, which is why I am not big on influencer marketing, because you can tell legit followers from not paid versus not. And so I don't play around with that, which is why I'm a huge stickler on that. But you can build something together as a writing community, indie community, small press author community together, and that would be more successful, because then you're helping each other out, not just leveraging one person that's not necessarily going to generate sales for you. You're kind of generating sales for each other and yourself. So it works a lot better and longer than just a one-time thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that brings us to the point of uh, for our listeners, some may not know the way Amy got involved in the industry is the Sandy had a company that did what Amy does now, and she hired you, and you did it together for years. And then when Sandy retired, you took over the company. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do now that is different than when you first started working for Sandy? And what do you do that was never a part of what Sandy did because it wasn't there? Or maybe there's some things like Facebook that was there then that's not now.
I mean, I don't know if I necessarily do anything different. I think I just structured things differently. So we have the retainer pricing, which is the 6-month commitment, but we have different bundles that you can purchase when you need for however long you need. That breaks up what the retainer package is. So it's at different price points and affordability and length too, right? Because I'm a firm believer in being a temporary expense, especially for social media, so you can see what I'm doing, you can learn what I'm doing, you can take it over yourself. Because if I become a long-term expense, then it's much longer for you to make your money back, right? Because you're counting in what you're paying me. So if I'm temporary, the hope is eventually you feel empowered enough to do it yourself and you will not need me, and then you can start making more money, right, from your book sales. But Sandy was always big on collaboration and working with others, and I just learned that from her and I took that on. So, I mean, Russell, when I met Mickey and stuff, I had kind of run my course with one of my clients and all the network that I knew that I had inherited from Sandy for speaking opportunities and stuff. And so I leveraged Mickey and I built that relationship to what it is today in terms of collaboration and things like that, because my strong suit is marketing, book marketing, creating Amazon bestsellers. That is what makes me happy. The PR side is Sandy was fabulous at, and I've struggled hardcore with that. So when I could collaborate with Mickey, I could do what I enjoyed doing, he could do what he enjoyed doing, and we could help authors, I guess, like, well-rounded and give them everything that they needed. That would be one of the differences that we've done. I think another one would be how we create the Amazon bestsellers. I mean, me and Sandy did it back in the day, just sharing in groups, which took forever. We would work together and that's how we would, do it. And I like to call that like the old school way. And then when we learned about promo stacking and leveraging those and the different times to do that and the links and those kind of things, and that kind of changed the game for me. But I mean, now we're getting into Amazon ads and running those and figuring out different ways to kind of encompass those where it's not breaking anybody's bank account, right? I don't like what the best saying I would say, and this is a millennial saying, so I will say it, is bougie on a budget, right? You want to sell all these books, make all this money, but you don't want to spend a lot of money. You don't have a lot of money to spend to invest into that. And so we like to be your bougie on a budget option. So we have different budget friendly options that you can go down, collaborations or sources that we can send you to that won't break your bank. Because whether you go with me and you do the retainer package and you get everybody that I work with, or if it's cheaper to outsource you to them at different times, then we're going to do that. Because we like to, I mean, I learned all that from Sandy though, but we like to have you guys be successful. So we will morph that however we can and cut things off that you don't need from the services to make it fit within your budget, which I learned that from Sandy. So,
well, I want to say that one of the things that Amy did is just take some, like I had just started learning about the promo stacking. I didn't even call it promo stacking because it was just
What
promo.
is promo stacking?
So you leverage a bunch of different promotional sites, like the one everybody knows about is Bargain Booksy, Free Booksy, right? And then they're starting to collaborate with other promotional sites that I've been using, which is wonderful for me being a member. I can just do a one-stop destination. but you leverage their email list that they have. So they continuously send out to different genres that have different size listing, and you'll put your promotion that you're running for your ebook on their newsletter for whatever day, and you leverage that with like 3 or 4 different promotional sites. Or you can do a heavy hitter one, which is going to cost you more money, and in hopes of that turning into a #1 bestseller, right? Because everybody knows, if you don't know, here's your trick to become an Amazon bestseller. You leverage your ebook. You run a promotion on your ebook and leverage that, and that can get up to #1 in all of your categories. One of their categories are in the Kindle store, right? Which is what we always aim for. That feeds into physical sales of your book. But once you hit that #1 on your ebook or anything like that, you are considered a bestseller. So the best way to do that is to run some kind of promotion. So you leverage the promotional sites to help kind of boost that, because they're going to have bigger email lists. And then you run all your social media campaigns and those kind of things, but you leverage all of those things together in a 3-day time period.
And I think one of the things too, Amy, with the promo stacking, that I mean, she took that where I only did with one or two. She took that to a whole new level with all of the places that she goes and found out about and all of that. I spent more time. I mean, when we did a book launch, like she said, the groups on Facebook, I'm a member of like 1,000 groups, author groups. And I would spend days going to every one of those groups and posting and asking them to share it. And I mean, I spent time where she spends a little more money, but it goes to a lot more people because it goes directly through an email or one of the other kind of things that she talked about. So it's the same principle. It's just, do you want to spend a lot of time like focusing on posting in all these Facebook groups, or do you want to pay somebody to send out an email to 300,000 people? Yeah. And it really does work. And I'm so really, really thrilled. I can't tell you how thrilled I am that Amy has just taken what we learned together. Because when I met her, she was in college, and I didn't understand social media and didn't have time for it. And she did all the social media for me. And so now it's just kind of flipped. Now she does the social media as one of her primary things that she does. And I love what she's done, and that she now partners with Mickey and other people to do what I knew how to do, which was the press releases and the PR. So, Amy, you are just like, oh my God, it's just wonderful to watch you in action.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun, but I don't know, I haven't necessarily changed a whole lot about it. I just took what Sandy did and restructured it a little bit.
Well, Russell, remember when you had your book launch, you and I did a lot of work on that book launch. And so, and we would have done a lot more if you had not lived in a place that we could have the party and everything right there. So if we had to go find a place and do all of that, it was great. It was great. So I love what we were able to do for your book launch. And Russell wanted, of course, to give the books away. And so, but the friend gave you the cookies with the picture of the book on it, remember? And I'm like, okay, we give the book away and we charge for the cookies then. So I thought that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, and Jen says that using both would be best, and it is. You have to have a social media campaign along with promo stacking.
You really do.
But you don't have to run like Facebook ads or anything like that. You can run Amazon ads and promo stack and do all of those things. But sometimes it's good to stagger them out so you have success over the month and not just a 3-day period. But Russell, honestly, that's all that I've done. Everything that I've learned from Sandy. That's pretty much it.
So I have a question that you just mentioned. So do Facebook ads even work anymore?
I don't see where you're gonna get like an ROI on it without spending a lot of money, and maybe you'll break even. It's just so saturated, and people are willing to pump out a lot of money to it, that you would have more success playing around and tampering with Amazon ads to see how those work without spending a lot of money. You probably would get more success. I will also say this. If you have a series that has a ton of books in there, I strongly encourage you to offer your first book and that series, the Kindle, permanently free as your opt-in. You will have far more success by doing that than not doing that, because that's your gateway for them into the rest of your series by giving them something, right? You have to give people something, whether it's a discount or whatever, to get them intrigued to read, and then that will lead to physical sales. It's not an instant thing, but it does happen.
Well, even the number one best-selling authors, Jodi Picoult and some of those, I get the BookBub ads for them, that their Kindle book of the new book coming out, or the original one in their series, is 99 cents. I go buy all of them when they're 99 cents like that. It's just like a no-brainer. But I mean, we're talking about the New York Times best-selling authors are doing that. So it's not like we're doing something unique. It's what everybody's doing. And just like with TikTok, you either get on the bandwagon while it's hot and heavy, or you miss out.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. If you don't have a lot of books, then I don't recommend doing that at the beginning. Wait till you have a lot, you know? But if you have 13, 14, 15 in a series, you have 3 different series, there's no reason why you can't do that, right? Because that's your opt-in. Everybody has to have an opt-in to get things. Now, if you don't have that, I do recommend running promotions on your books every 3 to 6 months, kind of rotating them out, running promotions to get new readers and those kinds of things. So, I mean, that would be my thing. So, Jan, when it comes to book talk, if you're willing to put out videos and stuff like that constantly, then I would do that, or I would collaborate with somebody else to have them share your content and stuff on there that's been on TikTok for a while. But as I mentioned earlier, I don't dabble in influencer marketing because that's just, I can't do that. I can't. I could talk on and on about why I'm not going to do that, but I can't ramble. So I'm not going to do that.
I
But
would like
that
to
would be
hear
it.
some of that ramble if we I mean, we're out of time, but I would love to hear some of that ramble.
Yeah. No, I mean,
To be
you can build it.
continued.
Yeah, you can build it yourself. I mean, it's one of those things. But I mean, other than that, I mean, that's really all that I have changed, I guess. I've just evolved it. But I mean, I've brought other people on to help, like Mickey. I collaborate with Mickey. Dina, I collaborate with Dina Way of ebook builder. She does cover designs, my formatting. She helps me with editors and reading books for submissions and all that. So I mean, I like to collaborate and help out other people as much as I can, which in returns helps out authors, right? So I'm very transparent in that. So I mean, questions or anything like that, you can email me. I'm more than happy to answer questions. If you need an idea or you have an idea and you want to run it by somebody, I'm an open book. I'm not going to charge you to send me emails because that's just, I've done this for a long time. And if I don't know the answer, Sandy might, Dina might, Mickey might, or Russell might, right? So I have resources to help. But at the end of the day, what I got most from Sandy was it's just about helping authors get their story out there the best way that works for them. And so that's what we do. So I'm excited for when your books come out, Russell.
Yeah, I dream of the day.
I'm excited for them for sure. Man, you guys, I love it when it's just us three.
We do
Like
have
old
fun.
times.
We spend a lot of time reminiscing, but we also talk about, and Russell, you're just out there with getting all the news stuff. I really do love following you just to look to see what's the latest and greatest. But this was a real find.
Well, thanks. And, it's been a great show. Every once in a while, we like one of these. These usually wind up being our favorite shows.
I know.
I love it. It's just like old times. I'm just like, oh, I love it. When we used to drive down to Russell's place
and do our videos on the pool on the 8th floor. Oh my gosh, I loved that place.
Yeah, that's where one of the Kardashians used to hang out when she was in Houston.
Wow.
I can believe it. It's a great place. I love it.
I love it. Well, you guys, We sure hope that you guys have enjoyed this conversation as much as we have. We always have fun getting together, talking about latest things going on in the industry, what all we're doing, and how we can help you or other people or just help each other. These are always just fun little chit chats for us. Like we have mentioned several times, we're all super humbled by this whole experience. We have been doing this for almost 8 years. It was Russell's idea. And so it has been so much fun to watch it grow and flourish into what it is today, and to talk with so many amazing authors and writers and others within the writing community. So, with all that being said, we hope that you all have a fantastic Monday, a great rest of your week, and we will catch you all next Monday. Until then, bye, everyone.